Hey everybody, it's your girl Nisi. I have two Am I the Butthole stories for you guys. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Am I the asshole for telling my parents I don't have a kid? They did, and they need to take care of her, not me. My parents had me 15 female when they were 18 and 19. They always made it so obvious that they resented being parents so young, and added to that, they never tried to be good parents. I typically spent most of my time at friends' houses. I don't have extended family to rely on. They disowned my parents for having me so young. So friends' houses were a positive in my life that made me feel more comfortable than being at home with my parents. My parents never did the typical parent stuff like helping out with homework or showing up to support me at school. I don't think they've ever attended a parents' conference for me. They ignored a lot of stuff I needed to get signed, and I'd have to get right in their face on the last day to get signature. My birthday and Christmas have never been a big deal or a celebration. They do celebrate their wedding anniversary, but that's a them thing. When they told me 2 years ago they were expecting a baby, it really surprised me, but then it hurt because sometimes they said stuff that made me feel like I didn't exist. Like they were so excited to have a baby, how they couldn't wait to be parents. A friend of my mom's did remind her of me, but then she and dad said I was basically the too early practice run, and that this was the real deal. When my sister was born, they were so attentive to her that I ceased to exist completely. I got sick and my school was trying to call someone to pick me up early, but they ignored the calls, and when I got home, they had taken the baby out for a family day. When they got home, they hadn't even realized the school called because they turned off their phones to enjoy family time. My mom quit her job a month ago after my sister was born. She wants to be a stay-at-home mom, and she and dad want at least one more kid. My dad leaves work early on Friday so he could spend more time with the family, meaning my mom and my sister. My parents tried to have another kid for over a year, and my mom isn't pregnant yet, so they're jumping to fertility treatments. They told me I need to watch my sister for a few hours every week while they attend appointments, and they gave me this detailed list of stuff she needs and what I'm going to do with her. I told them I won't, and that they had her, so they need to take care of her because she's not my kid. My parents told me it's a few hours a week and it's not a huge deal. Dad told me I need to look at it as paying back all they did for me. I said no, and I told them they didn't give a crap about me, so why would I want to help them? Am I the butthole? And this story was by Significant Fan 8108. Significant. Dearest, you telling your parents that you don't want to become a parent to a child is not a big deal. And in this situation, you standing up for yourself and saying, I'm not equipped to do this, and this is your kid, is exactly what you need to do. Continue trying to be a kid as long as possible. Understand that you need to probably find a part-time job or something that's under the radar. You get what I'm saying? Because you need to build up capital, because if you want to go to college or do anything that you need to have a future in this world, you're not going to be able to do it as long as your parents don't care. Now, you could also, reach out to your grandparents, because yes, they disown your parents, but that didn't mean they disowned you. So I would see if you can find a number someplace, see if you can get in touch with them and be like, hey, I'm the result of them messing around. I'm not the cause. Do you mind helping me out? Or can I just at least stay with you? I'll pay you rent, something. Get some type of connection out there. I'm glad you're at your friend's place. I'm glad you're somewhere safe. But at the end of the day, you need to, find a way out of that home safe. Especially when you're 18. So that way you're not living on the streets. I would hate that to happen for you. Let's see what people said. Putakana 24 said, not the butthole. Neglecting to pick you up when you're sick is called in your life a practice son. It's such a horrible thing to get from your parents. And I'm sorry they've neglected you. Yeah, like, you're not in the wrong. I'm sorry. It's a little cold, so I'm a little sick. And you replied, it is, but I'm used to it. They're showing all that without words for years. Though the practice run part is funny to me because what practice did they get? I can't say they ever really did much or any parenting. So it's like, what are you talking about? They don't make the most of their practice run for people who see me that way. Yeah, from what you described, if they're not around, how could they be practicing to be parents? Okay. Your parents are bad parents and bad people for neglecting. This is totally their fault. People have kids at younger ages that they did and still manage to be decent parents. I hope you remember that this is the reflection of the horrible people they are. In no way are related to you as a person. Work hard and be able to leave as soon as you legally can. Best revenge will be to lead a good life and cut out contact with them once you're 18. Yeah. Get out there, get a job, do what you can, live a good life, leave your parents in the past. There's no point of you holding on to them. It's just not worth it. There are so many people that have kids young by accident that, go to school and do all this other stuff. And yes, your grandparents, said, hey, like, we don't want you, but that's not your fault. Not the butthole. My parents told me that it's not a huge deal. Yeah, well, neither is learning to be satisfied with your children that you already have. You replied, I think if anyone said that to them, they'd say she deserves to grow up as not an only child. I mean, as a person with a younger sibling, 6 years later, it's not that big of a deal. But your parents completely are just like, ew, we don't want to deal with you. And you're now, what, 15? So your parents are, what is that, 23? No, I'm sorry, 33 and 34 respectfully. Like, there's no excuse. They're past the point where they need to have that conversation and get their head back on the swivel where it should be. Tell them you'll do it if they can name your favorite food, favorite color, and best friend. When they can't, tell them you'll be giving their baby exactly as much attention as they've given to you over the years. Give them that wake-up call. They clearly need it, not the problem. Yes, but also reserve that if you are home and they leave the baby with you and they do not come to get the baby, just before they leave, be like, if you do not take this baby with you, I'm not responsible for what's happening to this baby. And then when they leave the baby with you, make sure you call 911 so that way they can be like, so I have this baby and it's not mine and my parents left me home with it. But I can't be responsible. I'm 15. I don't know what to do. Please come somehow. Because that'll get them home faster and understand that you're not in charge of that baby. And every time they leave that baby with you, that's every time you call the police. Don't let them put that on you. And last comment. Not the butthole. They clearly see you as a babysitter and it sounds like they couldn't seem to do the bare minimum for you when you were growing up. You replied, that's exactly how it is. I'm honestly surprised they didn't put me in foster care at some point. But then they'd have to pay. I never get them choosing to keep me for this. Putting me up for adoption would have been kinder. Someone replied to that, please get a job as soon as you can, so you can move out on time. Hang on, when you graduate high school, you can go no contact. Go to college far away and don't look back. Live your best life away from them. They are not and never been your parent. Just dropping in to point out that you can petition for emancipation at 16. If you have friends who would let you stay with them, you should look into it. That's another option. I forgot about that. You're not the bad guy here. It sounds like you've been put in a really unfair position. It's completely reasonable that you want your parents to take responsibility for their child, especially after giving their lack of support for you. Thank you. I know it's not her, meaning the baby's fault, but I really don't want to be responsible for her helping them when they didn't look out for me at all. As you should. As you should. At the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. And taking care of someone else's child is not doing what's best for you. So good on you for knowing your boundaries and whatnot. Okay. on to the next story. We have another Am I the Butthole? This one is by Otherwise General 31. Would I be the butthole if I, a 27-year-old non-binary, told my sister, a 29 female, that I do not want to be a bridesmaid? No, you would not. You don't have... Just because you're family doesn't mean you have to do something for that family member. You don't have to do anything that's going to make you uncomfortable. As long as you are uncomfortable, it is not a good situation for you to be in. Don't think you have to be forced to do anything. That's my prejudgment. Now, you would not be the butthole. Now, I'm going to read your story and then give you another, maybe a different verdict, but for right now, no. So I do not want to be a bridesmaid for my older sister, for many reasons. 1. I've already been her bridesmaid before, at her first wedding, almost 3 years. Almost 3 years ago. It wasn't the best relationship, nor was the best person in my eyes. Okay. The longest relationship she had was 2 years with a dude named Brant. So she dated Brant, then cheated on him with his friend called Ashton. They had this affair for a few months before he found out, then broke it off. She kicked out Brant and moved Ashton in a week. Told her maybe to use the time to keep Ashton at a distance, find herself and have him as a roommate, or find a smaller apartment as her lease was almost up, and realized that she doesn't need a man to survive, but have a partner because she loves them. Destination wedding gone wrong. 2 days before the wedding, I had overheard him and her yelling, and she said verbatim, "I don't want to marry you." Okay. Point 2. I was not asked. She expected it and just dropped it in the conversation. Asked my younger brothers, 20 and 21, if they didn't mind being in my wedding. I had planned my sister and brother, 27, not to be in it. Okay. 3. She stole my own wedding ideas. To be honest, this is the most reason why I don't want it to. One of the ideas was my girlfriend's wedding march. It's an opening to a game that my girlfriend and I bonded over. It was what started our friendship, and our plan to incorporate it into our wedding along with another franchise that usually goes hand in hand. Congratulations to those that figured it out. Okay, I planned it as mine when I was 16, and I told her when I was 18, and again during her talks about her own wedding long before the first. We talked about it together, and I guess she decided to use it without talking to me. Okay. The theme of her wedding was Elven, Lord of the Rings style, but on the beach. I didn't know until it started to play, badly mind you, on her wedding. I glanced at my girlfriend at the time and saw her livid. It was a special song to me and a very special song to her. Afterwards, my girlfriend pulled me aside and said she was going to do it better, while I didn't want to use it at all, as I felt it was disrespectful if I did. Then I get a call from my sister telling me her idea for her wedding, and it was also that I was in her wedding party. My idea for my wedding was wedding with our aesthetic then, at the reception, could be a cosplay party. My girlfriend and I planned this for 3 years. In this talk, she said that she was going to have a cosplay reception, but Renaissance style. When I asked where she got the idea, she said I had said I was going to do it and thought it was a good idea. I am livid. I don't want to be a bridesmaid, especially after the last hellfire the last one was. So Reddit, would I be the a-hole? Edit, weddings are important. I shouldn't be bringing my feelings at such a special occasion. I'm going to be in the same place. You would not be the butthole. I understand it's going to be difficult, but if the wedding that you and your partner want is this theme, don't let somebody else who mimics and doesn't do it exactly the same. You can have different aspects. You can have different, things here and there to make it your own. There are 1,000 people in this world who do, the same wedding theme over and over again. Winter, fairies, anything and everything in between. There are 1,000 people who do the same theme of courthouse. Like, you can't let somebody else's thing take over. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. No, you do not have to be a bridesmaid. You can always be a guest. And just put down boundaries and say, I'm not your bridesmaid. I've done it before. It didn't work out for you. I'm not going to keep standing up for this. Yes, this is your sister, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's correct. Okay. The only response that you have so far is not the butthole. You weren't asked. Your relationship reads rocky. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. Exactly. There's no need to do something that's going to make you feel uncomfortable. There's no need to make this, entirely annoying for you. The next comment you have is, you don't need to be a bridesmaid if you don't want to be. But honestly, you and your girlfriend don't own cosplay weddings. You can only control what the two of you do at your own wedding. Nothing you do is going to be 100% original. And that's okay, as long as you like it and it is meaningful to you. Do not waste time and effort and energy being upset because someone else has a wedding that has some of the same elements as yours. Also, please don't make your guests wear costumes to your wedding if they don't want to. Weddings are already expensive to attend without adding a costume you'll never wear again, so you can be a backdrop that matches the bridal couple's aesthetic. Yeah, that makes sense. In all honesty, kind of like I was saying, just make it your own. Do what you gotta do, No point of making yourself overworked over it. 4 hours to go. Not the behold. You should always be asked when you're having a part in the wedding. I also wouldn't want that with my own family. But if you do go, it'd be petty to say welcome back everyone. Sarcasm, but that would be funny to me. That's what I would put it at. The sarcasm remark. That's where I'd be at it. Not the butthole. Every individual has the right to say no to anything. You don't need to justify it. The only thing in life I feel like you can't really say no to is being there for your kids, if you have them. Other than that, everyone is fair game. Yeah, so the theme is you're not the butthole. And the reason being is no is a complete sentence and a full meaning. Yes, your sister may have copied your theme or whatever, but make it your own. Have fun with it. Say, hey, if you want to come in a costume, cosplay style, you can. And if you want it to be a little bit more mandatory, I would pitch in for your bridesmaids, groomsmen, whoever is going to be standing up there with you. And, maybe a special costume for the parents of of you and your girlfriend, fiance, sorry. But outside that, everyone's going to show up as they show up, and just enjoy your night. Have fun with it. Don't make it, bigger than it needs to be or smaller than it needs to be. Enjoy your time. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, guys, both am I the buttholes, and this seems to be a theme for me to just randomly choose because I just cooked new and grabbed the top couple stories, so you don't hear the same thing over and over and over and over and over on every channel. But it seems like both our stories tonight are not the butthole. One is asking, is it okay for you not to be a parent? And that's fine, because you're a child, you're 15. And the other said, I don't want to be a bridesmaid, which is also fine. That was a complete sentence, y'all. Keep it up. Enjoy yourselves. This is your girl, Nisi. See you next time.